Get up, and the game is called Overreaction Thursday, which is derived from Dan's column on ESPN.com. I'll say some things that I think people are saying, and you tell me if this is an overreaction. If I were to say the Falcons, not Tampa Tom's Bucks, are going to win the NFC South, would that be an overreaction?
It's not an overreaction. I don't know who's saying it, but they should be, because the Falcons are legit. They know they know what they want to do. They want to run the ball. If the Buccaneers do not get their act together, the Atlanta Falcons have looked so far like a team that can take advantage of that and win the division. That is the threat to Tampa Bay in the NFC South.
Boy, that division is as bad right now as any I can think of in recent memory. The next one, and this one I feel like a lot of people are saying, the 49ers are the NFC's most dangerous team in the second half. Is that an overreaction?
It is an overreaction. Look, I get like how exciting it is to have Christian McCaffrey and all that, but they're 4-4. Right? Like everybody's exceeding well enough to have the kind of playoff seeding to do real damage in the postseason. I think they're good, and that's about it.
That's one where I disagree with you, but it'll be fascinating to see where it winds up. All right, here's one I love. If people were to say Justin Fields will end this season with more wins than Aaron Rodgers, would that be an overreaction?
No, because Justin Fields not going to get benched for Jordan Love. Look, they have the same record right now.
Yeah.
Like right now, the Bears and the Packers have the same record. The Steelers picked the Bears second rounder for Chase Claypool over the Packers because they thought it would be higher. I'm not sure they're going to end up being right. Justin Fields is on an upward trajectory. The Bears are playing better. The Packers are a mess right now. It's absolutely possible. They still play one more time. It's absolutely possible that the Bears could end up with more wins than the Packers.
Actually, to say that Justin Fields is on an upward trajectory might actually be selling short what we are seeing right now. Look at these numbers. In the past month, the Bears have let him use his legs, and he has responded in an enormous way. Last 4 games, he's averaging over 100 rushing yards on 12 carries. That's a huge jump, as you see, from the first 5 games, and the offense is so much better. They're averaging 380 yards on 25 points per game the past 4 games. And for what it's worth, he was named the NFC's Offensive Player of the Week after rushing for more yards than any quarterback ever had in any regular season game. So I turn to the pride of Joliet, Illinois, Chicagoland's own Rob Ninkovich. How are we feeling about the Chicago Bears and their young quarterback right now?
I'm pretty excited for the Chicago Bears. I mean, you look at the future, and since the Patriot matchup, I feel like they found something here, a little bit of a recipe where Fields is more comfortable. He's using his legs. He's getting out on the edge. And as a defender, I can tell you firsthand, when you're trying to stop a mobile quarterback, probably the fastest player on the field, it's almost impossible because you have other obligations to try and stop the run when you're trying to set the edge. And look, you can just see in this stat. I think the super fans will be really excited to say that Chicago, the Bears, have the quarterback from now in the near future, maybe possibly 10 to 20 years, and maybe we win, I don't know, 10, 12 Super Bowls in the meantime. But I would say my best friend, Bob Swirsky, we were sitting back having ourselves a bratwurst the other day for breakfast, and we were talking about the Bears. We were talking about the future of Chicago and the Bears, and the Super Bowl from the 85 Bears, I'm thinking we're going to repeat at least 6 times. I'm telling you. Me and Bob, we were having a discussion about it, my uncle too, but we're going to have fun this year. We're going to watch the rest of the season, watch this young kid develop, and we got a quarterback for the next 20 years.
Okay. The man has a diverse skill set that no one sees coming. All right, Bart, let's talk about this from a linebacker's standpoint, okay? That guy, as people are finally starting to see what those of us who actually watched him in college, not those who seem to have evaluated him, but those who actually watched him in college already knew. That guy's got 4.4 speed. Yeah. He's got a cannon for an arm. They're finally letting him do the things he does well, and he looks right now like he might be on the verge of becoming the next genuine NFL star. Talk to me about playing defense against him.
I mean, it puts you in a pickle, right? Because you talk about you have to respect the ball in the belly. It also controls the run game because you see right here, it puts the end man on the line of scrimmage in a dilemma. But if he hands it also, now it creates cutback lanes for the running backs. So now you see the other running backs getting easy lanes, getting to the second level. The same thing that you see with Lamar Jackson. I wonder if they go and they have a similar type of meeting when they build an offense that's geared strictly to all his skill sets. What's amazing is he really didn't run this much. Lance may pull that out and give those same elements because he can run. He's a dynamic runner, too, and he's a guy that has a cannon. He's, with one of the best play callers in football.
We'll see. I mean, Justin Fields did it on the big biggest possible stage, making the college football playoff twice at Ohio State. And look, hopefully Trey Lance gets healthy and we'll find out. How about it? How about Fields? Look at what they've done. Look at the draft capital they have going to next season. They have 1 million picks. They have over $100 million in money to spend. How quickly could the Bears team go from 0 to 60?
Well, listen, we always talk about the quarterback. You got to find the quarterback. Guess what? They have the quarterback. Everything else, you can just add supplement. It is Justin Fields. And he's putting it on display right now. He's showing you just how dynamic he is.
Yeah, and look, we all pay a lot of attention to what the Jets did in one offseason, basically, with an extraordinary draft. I guess it's two, because they had two good drafts, and spending money smartly in free agency, and you go from one of the worst teams in the league to being 6-3 in a contender like that. The Bears could be playing that game. Meanwhile, let's play our game. It's called More or Less as we look at some of the point spreads this weekend. Ninko, Eagles, Commanders. Will Philly win by more or less than 11 points?
More. I'm going to say more on this one. Look, Philadelphia, they're on a roll. They're looking confident. And the Commanders, we know what's going on there, a lot of stuff. So I'm going with definitely Eagles. They're on a roll.
In that division. Hey, Bartholomew, Giants, will they beat the Texans by more or less than 5?
I'm going to say less. Listen, no, the Giants don't blow anybody out. This kid right here, Pierce, is a revelation. This guy could be in the running at the end of the season for Rookie of the Year. Listen, you talk about that bend, don't break defense by Lovie Smith. They played the Philadelphia Eagles really, really tough last year. I think it's going to be less than 5.
And then D. Wood, Chiefs, Jaguars. Will Kansas City win by more or less than 9.5?
I'm going to say more. I just think, the Chiefs, I know we talked about, the last week against the Titans, and that game went to overtime, but I look at the Chiefs when they're at home, man. They're a tough team to beat. Offensively, they're explosive at home. So I want to say more than 9.5 against the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Some of the numbers on an NFL weekend that kicks off tonight. Meanwhile, we've got NBA tomorrow night here on ESPN. We got Karl Anthony Towns and the Timberwolves visiting Ja Morant and the Grizzlies. Tip-off 9:30 Eastern. Coverage starts with NBA Countdown at 9 here on ESPN. Coming up, the most important ligament in the NFL. We got the news on Allen's elbow and how it changes everything. That's next. Get up on ESPN.
We would talk about things.
Is
but
he
right
playing
now,
Sunday?
No, he has an ulnar collateral ligament sprain. And when you say sprain, there could be fingertip numbness. So as a quarterback, you need your arm. You need to have that feeling in your hand. You need to be able to squeeze the football or throw it down the field. So I don't think that he's going to play. I'm sure that they're being very silent on this issue. They understand that their whole season relies on this elbow. So hopefully for them, for the Buffalo fan base, they don't have a lot of missed time by Josh Allen, because that injury is scary.
How
don't know
significant?
what it's going to take.
Let's talk about the significance of this.
Yeah.
All year long, it has basically been Buffalo or the field in the AFC. And we have been assuming, Bartholomew, that the road to the Super Bowl was going to go through Orchard Park. And you guys have all been telling us all year how hard it is to play there in the one toilet in the visitors' locker room.
Yeah.
We all know how cold it is and the fans and everything else. If they don't have home field, if he has to miss a couple of weeks and it costs them the 1 seed, does that keep Buffalo out of the Super Bowl?
I think it does. Especially when they rest everything on being able to host through Orchard Park, Drini. So you think about, can he play through it? He's had this injury before, right? He had this injury before in his career. He's not so much, you talk about his effectiveness in the pass game, but really his effectiveness in the run game. He is their run game. I know they brought in Naeem Hines. That hasn't figured out yet. They got James Cook. They can figure out a way to put him on the field. I'm going to dress him